Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fiona and I am a full-time artist. And on this channel, I like to take you with me on my artistic journey, whether that means working on projects here in my studio, going out to see cool art exhibits, buying art supplies and sharing my haul with you, or doing videos like we're going to do today, which is artist tips. So if any of that sounds like something you're into, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Okay guys, if you clicked on this, then you probably already know what this video is going to be about, but I really wanted to create this because I do get asked often how I go about conducting online sales, and I did a previous video with 5 tips for selling your work online, but this will go a little bit deeper into how I do an online sale. I typically do 2 shop launches a year, and that mainly includes ceramics along with some paintings and drawings. But also in the past, I have done what I would call a studio sale, where I'm sort of clearing out inventory to create room for newer work. And this could really apply to any of those things, but I just wanted to share my tips with you. Obviously, take what works for you, leave what doesn't, and let me know in the comments below if you're an artist and sell your work online. How do you go about it? Is there anything that you would like to share with the community? Because obviously the best conversations happen in the comments, and I would love to hear from you guys. All right, let's get into it. So the very first thing that I do when I am preparing for a shop launch is I set a goal, whether that means I want to sell $500 worth of work or $10,000 worth of work. It's really important for me to have that goal number, because then I will set up everything about the shop launch around that number. The way that you would operate to sell $500 versus $10,000 is going to be very, very different. And we are going to get into why in the next step. So the next step is figure out your inventory. Just like I said in the previous one, if you want to sell $500 worth of work, your inventory is going to be quite different than if you're looking to sell $10,000 worth of work. If you're looking to sell $10,000 worth of work, you might have bigger works, higher priced works. Whereas if you're looking to do $500, maybe it's smaller framed works and you want to sell multiples of those, or maybe it's just selling like 1 or 2 big paintings. So your inventory is going to be really determined by your goal number. And I think it's important to kind of go into this knowing what is it that you are looking to move as a part of your inventory outside of the monetary number, just because it has to be something that you know that you are ready to part with it in your studio. This is another thing I've talked with artists about, where sometimes they don't feel ready to part with particular pieces that they feel very attached to, which totally makes sense. So when you're setting up a sale, go through your inventory, see what you have, see what you're happy to part with, and then see if you can price it in a way that will meet your monetary goal. So the next step is brand your sale. I know people hate the word branding, but it is actually important for your customer to understand what this sale is, and it allows you to kind of encompass it into the time frame that you're looking to do it, so people will know, oh, this is what it's about. So for example, when I did the 10K in sales, I was moving, so I just called it a moving sale. And the intention behind that was I was moving from an apartment to a house that we had purchased, and I was having my studio renovated, and I really didn't want to bring my entire inventory that I had into the new space. I kind of wanted to start fresh, so I ended up branding it as a moving sale. For you, maybe it's based around a holiday. Valentine's Day is coming up. Maybe you are doing something around that, or Black Friday is a really popular one that a lot of artists get into, Small Business Saturday. And there's ones that you can just make up on your own. Like if you're looking to just do a studio sale, you can just call it studio sale. And that way your customer kind of knows what to expect, and that this is a short-term thing. It's not an ongoing thing that is on your website. So I just talked about time frame and how is a set period. So the 4th thing you need to do is determine when. What is your timeline? Kind of giving yourself a window of time that you are running a shop creates a sense of urgency, and then also kind of lets people know that this is not just ongoing and they can just casually pick something up. And then it kind of also helps you in terms of your organization, that you're not just chip-shotting sales like every couple of weeks. Maybe you just want to do a large sale, move a bunch of stuff out, get it packaged and shipped, and then you're done with it. So for me, when I did my moving sale, I did it over a 2-week span. I think actually when I originally planned it, I thought I would do it for 1 week, but things were performing quite well. So I extended it another week. So that is also an option for you. But I think I realized too that a lot of people get paid on a 2-week schedule. So for instance, if you start your sale 1 week and then you don't give the person the next week, then maybe you missed out on something because they were getting paid the following Friday. Does that make sense? Anyway, the most important thing is knowing the time frame for your sale. Also doing a quick weekend sale. I had mentioned Black Friday before. A lot of people just run that over a weekend. Just having a time frame to work within will also help you manage everything about it. Manage the inventory, manage your interactions online, the shipping and packaging, just every aspect of it. Having a set time frame will really help keep you sane, speaking from experience. The next thing when you're thinking about your shop or sale is that you want to give people incentives, whether that is free shipping, maybe it's a % off, maybe it's a buy one, get one. The key thing with incentives is it's really up to you and what you're willing to offer. I know a lot of people can't afford to offer a percentage off, but I would say that it is typically a really high incentive. But for me, when I do my shop launches, I don't typically offer a percentage off because I know, especially with the ceramics, that there's interest for that. But when I did my moving sale, I offered 40% off, which is nuts. I never really offer discounts on my work, and that was just purely because of the situation that I was able to offer it that high. And I think that that's ultimately what contributed to such the high number of sales. People who had perhaps been looking at my work for a while felt like, okay, now this is more accessible, and they knew this is a short-term thing and it is definitely not something that I'm going to be doing very often. So it might be something to consider. Sometimes you can also do just a 10% off for like the first few shoppers or maybe the first 24 hours. So there's ways to go about offering a percentage off without feeling that you're completely discounting your work. So something to think about. The next thing that you need to do is actually update your shop. Go online, make sure all the inventory and all the pieces that you want are up there and they are appropriately priced. Check on your back end whether you can add a discount code if that's something you're doing, whether if there's a free shipping code, things like that. Just kind of make sure it's all functioning and working. And then another piece to this is how are people going to pay? Make sure that that is all set up and functioning. Sometimes I'll just buy against I'll set up some test one and buy $1 and just make sure that that back end is working, because this is really going to affect a lot about your buyer's experience and is it convenient for them and is it easy. The first step to all of this is you really, really want to make it easy for people to buy this stuff. So having multiple ways to pay and then making sure that checkout flow works is really important. Okay, so you have your goal, you have your inventory, you have your timeline, you have your branding. The next thing you want to figure out is your posting strategy or your, I would say, advertising strategy. So you want to know, where are your customers? Are they on Instagram, Facebook? Maybe you have a newsletter, they're there. There's a lot of places that your customers may be. So you know best where they are at, and you want to figure out how to best access them. So the first thing that I did is about, I would say, the month before the sale. So somewhere in like the 3 to 4 week range, you want to start kind of hinting that this is going to be a thing. So you might do like one post being like, hey, a month from now, I'm preparing a shop, kind of tease it a little bit. Then once you get into the 2 week range, you really want to ramp up talking about it. So 2 weeks out, I would do like 3 to 4 posts a week talking about this thing that's coming up. You're really excited about it, what you'll be offering, let people know about the incentives. And then the week running up to it, just post every day, wherever that social media platform is, letting people know, hey guys, this is what's going on. And then if you have a newsletter, let people know a month out, let people know a week before, remind them the week of, and then on the day it launches, let them know. Make sure you send that out. And then, yeah, same with posting. Once you get to the day of, hit the ground, let people know that this is what is happening. For me, what I did was I ended up doing special deals in my stories. And I would post when things are selling, and I would talk about it and show things in my studio and just really try to engage and interact with people in my DMs. And then, yeah, in terms of posting, I was just posting a ton, like making sure I'm posting every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day during the sale, kind of keeping the momentum and the energy about it. Then on the final day of the sale, give one final big push, let people know this is the last day for this. Send out a newsletter saying final day to shop this, and then thank everybody once the sale is over and sort of just do a little recap. For me personally, I made sure that I was posting in my stories every time something sold, and it would really flatter the buyers because it would make them know that I feel grateful and I appreciate them supporting my art practice and letting them know like they are buying a piece of me and that it is really, really special and that it means something to me as well. So posting that you're excited about it and the buyer's excited, and it kind of just creates an overall excitement. So I want to take a moment to talk about interacting with your buyers. This is something that was a little bit unexpected for me. When I initially started doing this, I thought, oh, I'm setting up a shop launch and people will just buy stuff and then I'll package it and ship it off and be like, cool, done. But a lot of people were DMing me. A lot of people had a lot of questions. And sometimes if something sells fast, people might have a question about it. When I was having the story deals, I would have people DM me if they were interested to buy it. And I would sometimes get multiple messages in a day. So just being able to make yourself available to interact than you might be more commonly used to is really important and will really affect your buyer's experience in working with you. Okay, your sale is over. You've done great. You're excited. Now you need to get all of that work out the door. So the last step that you need to think about is your packaging and shipping. And maybe it shouldn't be the last step. Maybe you should think about it beforehand. But for me personally, I didn't want to buy anything extra that I did not need. And I like to recycle used materials that maybe I get boxes sent to me and I have packaging and I like to reuse those things. So I typically wait till after the sale. If you're like somebody that wants to be prepared ahead of time, you can get that stuff ahead of time. But regardless, you need to think about packaging and shipping. So you have all the pieces that have sold. I would sit down and do a session where you wrap everything up, make sure it is, ready to frame or hang if that is something you were doing, or if you were just shipping stuff abroad. This has been an issue for me. Make sure you have cardboard in there so things are going to get tossed around. Bubble wrap the heck out of it. Just make sure that your packaging is all good. Then print off the person's address and all the shipping labels, get all of that set up. And I like to include a handwritten note. So I have thank you cards that I have made, and just writing them a little note to say that you appreciate them supporting your sale really means a lot. And it's sort of a little added piece of artwork, the little postcard, I think. So something to think about, that even after the sale, if you can include a little something, even if it's a sticker or a postcard that might just cheer up your buyer's day and give them a little added thing, is really, really nice. Okay, friends, that is it for the video. I hope that you found these tips helpful. Like I said before, let me know in the comments below. Have you done a sale yourself and you have any advice? Is there any artists that you've bought from that you were particularly impressed by? Let us know what they did. I would love to hear about it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay well and stay inspired, my friends. Bye.